What's up, guys? I'm LQ. This is the LQ Review. Thank you so much for joining me right here at my YouTube channel. This is where I talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff that I love to talk about, like movies and comic books and TV shows. Before I get started, I want to ask you to subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying to get enough hours to monetize. I'm not quite there yet. I've got enough subscribers, but I need the hours to monetize. So make sure you subscribe, make sure you follow me. But right now, I would like to talk about the movie The Requin, or the Requin? I don't know how it's pronounced, to be honest with you. It's the new shark movie with Alicia Silverstone. Is it The Requin? I think it might be The Requin. The new shark movie with Alicia Silverstone. The new shark movie. I have to use quotation marks there because it's not really a shark movie. It's advertised as a shark movie. There's a giant shark on the poster, but that's not exactly what this movie is. So I go into this movie being really excited that it is a shark movie because even bad shark movies, I tend to enjoy them. Even the bad sci-fi ones, I tend to enjoy just because I like those type of movies. The so bad they're good type of movies. I really get a kick out of those. So I go into this expecting it to be a bad movie, but also expecting to have a good time. But again, this is not a shark movie. The shark doesn't even show up until well over 45, 50 minutes into the movie. It might have been even pushing the hour mark before the shark even showed up. And when you're talking about a movie that's, what, an hour and 25 minutes long, obviously, the shark is not the main obstacle that has to be overcome. So let's talk about the plot. So the plot is Alicia Silverstone and her husband. They had a miscarriage, and they decide to go out on vacation in the tropics to get away from everything and just kind of clear their heads and try to get over this whole tragedy that they suffered in their lives. And they're staying in a cabana on the ocean, literally on the ocean. And some high winds, hurricane-type winds come through. A tropical storm comes through and literally washes their cabin out to sea. They wake up in the morning after getting knocked out. They wake up in the morning and they're literally in the middle of the ocean. What we have here for the first 2/3 of the movie is an ocean survival movie. It's about them trying to figure out how they're going to survive, how they're going to find safety, and ultimately how they're going to overcome the struggles of the ocean. Now, we've seen a lot of these movies where the female is really the one who has to overcome the challenges, and this movie's no different. This is very much a female empowerment movie where the female is overcoming the challenges that are ahead of them. The male gets injured early on, and he's kind of taken out of action, and it's all about the female trying to be the one who can be strong and the one who can overcome whatever nature's going to throw at them next. Once the shark finally shows up in the third act of the movie really picked up for me. Honestly, as a survival film, the first 2/3 didn't really work for me. I've seen survival films done a lot better. In fact, I've seen made-for-TV survival films done a lot better. I don't know if anybody remembers the made-for-TV film that came out maybe 20, 25 years ago called Survive the Savage Sea. That's still the best, that is still the best ocean survival film I've ever seen. And it was made for TV. So obviously, a movie like this should have been able to give us more than it did. Unfortunately, as a survival film, it really fell flat. When the shark did finally show up, it brought a jolt of energy to the movie that the energy really needed, and it kind of gave that antagonist that we'd kind of been wanting to see the whole movie, especially since the movie was advertised as a shark movie. It had a lot of similarities to movies like The Shallows, The Reef, one female against one shark type film, and those scenes tended to work for me pretty well. It gets a little ridiculous towards the end. Okay, let's be honest, it gets a lot ridiculous towards the end, but when I really break it down, it doesn't really get much more, it really doesn't get any more ridiculous than The Shallows did. The CGI wasn't as good as what we had in The Shallows. The CGI wasn't as good as what we got in 47 Meters Down 2. There was weaknesses But overall, I found the shark to be a rather compelling antagonist and a compelling movie monster that doesn't really behave like a real shark does, but I'm able to suspend my disbelief and have enough fun with it that I'm able to look at it more as a movie monster more than a shark that acts like sharks act, right? So for me, the movie was really kind of a dull, slow burn until the shark arrives. The shark is only there briefly, but when it's there, it was a nice jolt of action that the movie needed, and it was enough for me to say, okay, this wasn't a good movie, but there was some stuff in there that I liked. So for me, I gotta give the Requin, I gotta give it a C. And that might be being overly generous, just because I did enjoy some of the shark stuff enough there at the end that it just made me kind of forgive some of the other stuff that happened early on in the movie that I didn't really care for all that much. So for me, the Requin gets a C. Didn't hate it, definitely didn't love it, but there is stuff to like. So that's my take on it. What did you think of the Requin? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure that you subscribe to my channel. Help me get to the viewing hours that I need. And as always, thank you so much for joining me right here at the LQ Review, where we get to talk about all the geeky, nerdy stuff we love to talk about. Until next time, we'll see you later.